All right, so I'm here with Colin Nathan. Post Japan, it's been a week now since we've been back home, and obviously the home supporters received Cafu very well at the airports. How's everything going?
I was going to say it's you again. No, great. Obviously, heroes welcome. Absolute star for South African boxing. Just still thrilled. Like I've watched that clip,
Yeah.
And like maybe close to 200 times. I can never get enough of the corner being so overwhelmed with joy and nail biting because split decision. You think, hometown. But I was very confident that we did enough to win. I thought the knockdown was a decider. Those rounds are tight. Tanaka is one hell of a fighter. You've got to give respect where it's due. Elite, 4 division. Him and Nontshinga are the 2 fastest fighters to ever get 3 division champions, sure. World championships. So he's a legend. I mean, probably Hall of Famer. And Promotional put on a fight of his life to get that decision. It was just incredible. It was incredible to be part of that.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize the magnitude of just how big it was, because a lot of people wouldn't have been, maybe familiar with Cafu before the fights, and now that they know how good he is, he's the WBO champion of the world.
Yeah, I think that's what actually just was so sweet, the victory, because, he's an unheralded South African. Who is he? Who's he fought? Genesis LeBron's okay, now he gets a shot. SA champ in 26 seconds, but who's he really fought? And then all of a sudden, being 8-1 on the odds, and we get the victory. It's just, I think it makes that much more. I think it makes the victory way more significant given all those stats. And just the feeling going in. Tanaka's a real elite world champion, and going into his hometown, into his backyard, and winning that kind of fight. I mean, he's the man. It's just incredible.
I saw a news article straight after the fight, literally, that Inksport put out, and they announced that, Cafu signed a deal with Taking Promotions. Can you confirm or deny?
Yeah, so we haven't signed it officially yet, but it's obviously on the table and we're going to sign it. Obviously, we as a personal front, I said on another interview, where obviously I've always enjoyed doing business with Taking Promotions, Mr. Honda. So he wanted options and we said, yes, remember, Promotional was not mandatory, so he was entitled to sign options. So all things being equal, we've gone through the numbers. I've sat with Larry and the team, and obviously Promotional, I'm happy. We're ready to go. And all looking likely his first offense will probably be in Japan for taking a top rank.
And you love Japan, I know you do.
So do you.
Yeah.
So do you. How are those desserts, bro?
Yeah. I still need to lose those pounds that I gained that side, but it was worth it. I deserved it.
But you also missed the walks with Bernie. But it's okay.
Yeah.
No, I do love Japan, and I tell you why. I just find it's a massive boxing culture. I'm well versed with the culture, and you get honest, honourable decisions. If you're good enough to win, you go in and you win. And I just think from a respect perspective as well, the Japanese are non-intrusive. They're very timeless, as you know. It's got to be like, if it's 2:05, it's like 2:05. And I just enjoy that environment and the food. Well, let's talk about the food's incredible. It's incredible. Incredible place.
It's an incredible place, and obviously, winning there and for Cafu to get that support, because knowing when he goes back to Japan, he's going to have a whole bunch of Japanese supporters. He had already some supporters going in, but I can imagine on this level, even more supporters now.
Well, I think what's important to know is when the decision was announced on that split, the audience and the Japanese fans were so welcoming.
Yeah.
They were respectful. They knew we did enough to win. And I mean, it took him a long time to get back to the dressing room. He was mobbed by fans, taking pictures, wanting autographs. And even in the hotel, that some of the fans were sitting down for hours waiting for him to come down. I think when they saw you and I, they were like, where's he?
Yeah.
And we were like, he's still sleeping, guys. Just, let him sleep, So I think he will have a warm reception. And I just think also the respect from the fans, because he beat such an elite, top, great fight in Tanaka.
Okay, here's the next one, right? So, I mean, that's exciting for international boxing fans. Roman Gonzalez is the WBO number 1. I don't know if he's the mandatory. You can maybe let me know about that. But he's also promoted by Taking Promotions. That's a natural fight that could potentially happen.
It's a natural fight for it to happen. The first fight with Tanaka and Promotional was so intriguing, maybe a rematch. But I think Gonzalez obviously excites me more. I think that's a really, really good, challenging fight. I can say this, though. They're no easy fights, Hayden. We're a credible world champion. You can't pick and choose in computerized ratings. You got to fight what's out there, and the best are out there. So if we order for the mandatory for the WBO, we're ready to rumble.
I mean, that's going to be a big one, because he has to, as a champion, fulfill his rights. But he's going to want to look at that and see unifications in the future. But for now, I think WBO is a very nice title to sit on and defend.
Well, it's a big thing for all of us. Larry's relaunched Boxing 5 2.5 years ago, and even our wildest dreams did we think we'd have a credible champion represented for Boxing 5. It's just incredible. You have to pinch myself. So yeah, as my first WBO world champion, I've now done 3 of the big 4. The only trainer in South African boxing history to produce a WBA, IBF, and now WBO produce. So very excited about that historical moment for myself and for South African boxing. I think also remember Zolani Teti was the last IBF junior super flyweight champion in this division. He vacated and he moved up. So it's just great for South African boxing. And obviously with the disappointment of Sive losing his championship in devastating fashion, it kind of made this victory sweeter, and it was bittersweet, but we have a lot to look forward to, and Sive will bring back, he's still young, so we can make him champion again.
I like the fact that you said, you're going to bring him back, and there was a point in the fight where, Sive, he got knocked down for the first time, in the fight, that is, and, he got up from a really hard shot, and he continued to fight, and then he got stopped in the next round. Where do you go with him? Because this is the second time that he's lost the world title. Now he can obviously become a 3-time world champion, which is great. But do you need to go back to the drawing board, maybe take it a bit slow with him, or do you throw him back on the world stage because he's got proven quality?
Well, I think it's a bit of both. It depends on where he's going to be rated now. Also, I need to sit down with Sive and see where he's comfortable at. He made weight beautifully and professionally, but maybe it's time for him to move to 112. I don't know yet. If we keep him at 108, we just need to obviously tweak a few things. He looked great in the gym. His sparring was sensational. He had a really good camp. Unfortunately, on the night, he couldn't put it together, and that showed. And it happens. You have an off night. But unfortunately, the off night led to a devastating result. But, at the age of 25, 26, he's still young enough to rebuild and come back. And obviously, maybe rebuild, maybe 1 or 2 confidence fights, and then bring him back, maybe an eliminator. Let's see, if he's placed nicely in the 108 division in the IBF, let's look at building off of that. The rumors Yabuki might be moving to 112. He might vacate. So there's a lot of things that can happen from now and until the new year. And I think the next step is for Sive to enjoy his time with his family down in the Eastern Cape. And then obviously let's regroup after Christmas and see what the next step is.
All right, yeah, for Sivanati, obviously that's going to have to be a massive thing for him. Confidence levels wise, second time stoppage as well. He's going to really have to, go through the gears again, because he was a fantastic challenger. When he comes up against a big obstacle, he seems to get through it. So you can almost be certain that he's going to come back and be strong again.
Yeah, he's got BMT. He's got big match temperament. So again, we just need to sit down. I haven't gone through the tape yet. So I haven't had the heart to really obviously break it down and analyze it, and I have to. Equally, I haven't seen the full fight of Pumalela's fight either. I just, watched the clip of Jimmy Lennon Jr. But, I'm going to have to break it down and see what the next step is and see how we plan going forward. And I still think the world of his ability, and I do. I think he can be a 3-time world champion. So, again, right now, we can't make a definitive decision because I think he needs to have a break and be with his family. But confident that I'll bring him back.
100%. And we saw a save the date for the 23rd of November. Is that officially now the concrete date? Or I
just want to go back. Before I flew off to Japan, I signed this new kid from Cape Town, Prince Nontshinga.
Yeah, yes.
Man, I am so hot on this kid. I think he's a phenomenal talent. He really, really is a phenomenal talent. I think this kid's made of the right stuff. Promoted by Jackie Bryce for the interim. Jackie in Boxing 5 might be doing some stuff with the kid down the line. But Nontshinga is one of those kids who are really 20 years old. I think he's an exciting, good-looking, amazing prospect. I really, really do like the way he punches, good jab, good defense, moves really well. And I think the world of this kid. I think he's going to be a star for South African boxing. Now, going back to the 23rd of November, so that's been announced. We haven't announced the fight card yet. We're busy sorting that out. There are people who have been earmarked, but again, I don't want to make the announcement before Boxing 5 does. But Larry and I are already hard at work with AB Manisi, putting that together with Laduma and Riaz. But it's going to be a cracker fight card for the last event for the year. So very excited about that.
Yeah, and obviously Pumelelo was actually supposed to feature on a Boxing 5 tournament. Was it the last one before he got the big opportunity?
Yeah, it was the last one, and then we pulled him because we got the shot. So it just kind of worked out the way it was. Can you imagine? It just never would have worked out, but it is what it is. And you saw the press release today, a week now since the whole world knows the truth. So just fantastic. I mean, it's just such an amazing win, not only for Boxing 5 and no doubt, and obviously you're part of the team, and it's just a great buzz. And a big shout out to Tools Mbengi winning the IBO Welterweight Championship of the World. Big shout out to Sean and Peter Smith, two-time IBO World Champ. Fantastic. And you know what, Hayden? I think let's cut the bullshit. Let's stop celebrating mediocrity in South Africa. Let's celebrate the fact that South African fighters go abroad and they're going to hostile territories. They show balls and character, and the promoters show balls and character, and they produce the goods. Like, how amazing is it winning in an opponent's backyard against all the odds? And Bengi did it. Pumelelo did it. It just shows. So, you're at home when you're fighting for smaller versions or the fights are like, matched meticulously. Let's stop celebrating fucking mediocrity. Seriously. Let's start acknowledging that we have the ability, we have the talent to send these fighters abroad, and they can achieve these results and become credible world champions and get credible, exciting wins too.
I concur. I think that these guys, and especially Tulani's added to that list, as you said. He's been an RBO world champion before as Tools, but this one, in his interview, which people will also probably watch as well, he said that this time it just felt that much better because it was on the road and the stakes were a lot higher against a better opposition.
Yeah, and you know what, Hayden? You got to roll the dice. You can't protect your fighters forever. You build a fighter's career and you build and you build and you build. Stop fucking protecting them because they're good enough to take the step. And if they come up short, who cares? They'll come back. You can't just get rid of a fighter because he loses once. I mean, let's get fucking real. It's life. It's sports. It's boxing. It's not called winning. It's called sport. So roll the dice. We're good enough. And if you think about this, since I left my former promoter, right? My company's been going 6 years now. Produced 6 credible world championships for South African boxing and 5 credible world champions. And all have been on the road. Not once have I won a world championship here in South Africa. Not once. Do it the hard way and you get the success.
100%, and I can't disagree with that. Obviously, the travel and the legitimacy of everything it makes it so much better. When are we going to see another massive international fight coming out of No Doubt Management?
I think I'm done for the year. Look, there's some stuff brewing in the background. Can't talk too much about it now. Right now, we're all focused on November 23rd for Boxing 5's final fight card for the year. It's been an amazing year for Boxing 5. Big shout out to the boys, Larry, Riaz, and Ladumo. And then that will be the focus. And then obviously start navigating other things. There's 1 or 2 things in the background. The WBO convention's coming up. Head of Home Runs is number 1. I'm going to be pushing that agenda as well. Michaela Mayer beating Sandy Ryan kind of opens things up. But again, I don't know just yet, but there are things brewing in the pipeline. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to start talking about was another super flyweight, Sikon Kotoli. That division, the IBF, that's my focus on him. Mm-hmm. He moved from 12 to 10. He's going to move closer now in the top 10. There could be a lot of movement and traction for Sikon Kotoli next year within the IBF super flyweight division.
Does he fight there before the end of this year?
No.
Okay.
Probably not, no.
Okay.
No.
All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today, Cole?
No, just your thanks for the support. I'm going to say I'm a bit sick of seeing you, but I still love you. But it's just a great experience. And I'm just going to say arigato. Thank you.
Arigato. Thank you very much.